All right, Ed, let's kick it off. So this week we posted our first featured integration Aragorn video, and we talked about bringing new hires in from Greenhouse and
Right.
setting up a new hire onboarding process to UKG. And I guess and obviously it's easy to do in Aragorn, but my question for you is, aren't there a million ways to do this? Like, why does somebody need Aragorn for that?
Yeah, this we come across this a lot, and it's a very interesting answer. The short answer is, um, companies are all different, right? You pick two companies, they have their own established HR business process. They're different. Companies have their own unique DNA of how employees, when an employee gets hired, what are the workflows they go through, what are some business rules governing that. And a lot of times, HR knows their data better, but they just don't have the right set of tools to be able to define their unique way of hiring employees into their culture. And so many a times they would either partner with an out of the box connector or a consultant, and they play the game of phone. HR
Mhm.
interpret their business rules and how they work to the consultant. Consultant try to understand, codify that into a custom scripting language that only them understands how it
Mhm.
works. So the reason why HR team need Aragorn is HR team understands their data better than anyone within the organization. Therefore, we believe, given them the right set of tools that they can point and click without thinking about the technicalities that is involved in setting up integration, they pretty much go faster and they set up an integration within a matter of hours and not, kicking off a fully blown project plan, 3 months, 6 months, and many a times these projects fall flat on their face.
Yeah. And you and I, we've been working with HR tech for a very long time, both of us. And so I think we're used to the like, nothing is simple in HR. But for a skeptical person who's like, hey, how hard can this be? Like, what's an example of like, why isn't it just take the name, put it in UKG and go on your merry way? What happens in the real world, Ed?
Yeah, it's very interesting. So an example would be, a rehires, right? Every company treats rehires different. You have contingent workers, you hire contingent or contractors. Company A would treat the contracting process different than company B. And all these set of rules lives in the DNA of the HR process.
Mhm.
And so it makes it a little bit difficult if they have to play the game of phones to a consultant
Mhm.
to say, okay, now go interpret this. And these processes changes based on how a given company functions from day in and day out, right?
Mhm.
And so it's not as straightforward as in hiring a new hire, just go write their first name and last name in UKG. It could well as be once this new hire is hired, if they fall within a specific grade, kick off this new process or inform a
Mhm.
manager or put a stop on it, have an approval process be in the chain before creating them. So they're very unique processes surrounding when an actual offer is being accepted. So there is no one size fit all. And if they
Yeah.
have a tool like Aragorn, it's pretty easy for pretty much HR teams to manage this workflows.
Yeah, yeah. So it could be interns, international, all sorts of things, boomerang hires. And then you also kind of mentioned it. Maybe there's other things that happen. So again, in the video, it was quick. All I showed was just how easy you could set up that integration. But what else might get kicked off, and does Aragorn handle that as well? So, what other notifications or things might happen?
Yeah, so the interesting thing is a notification may be open a Jira ticket or open a
Mhm.
support ticket in the HR process backlog ticketing system or in IT ticketing system. And these triggers are not necessarily based on standard fields, right? When
Mhm.
you go to Greenhouse, you can create a lot of custom fields within Greenhouse. And if HR team wants to kick off a process based on a custom field that only makes sense for them, pretty much they have one single platform to do that,
Yep.
which is pick up the field, define the rules that are governing it using a point and click. No need to understand any coding principles behind it. You just point and click, you pick Jira, and you pretty much configure the action.
Awesome. Yeah, Jira, the badging system, calendar invites, things like that. So yeah.
Exactly.
And again, obviously we didn't have time to show all that in the quick video this week, but we'll post this video. If folks are interested, they can find us out on our website, book some time with us. We can walk through any wild scenarios that you've got, because I think you've pretty much seen it all at this point, Ed. And at
I
this,
try to.
you try, yeah, you're pretty quick on calls. So, and then, yeah, and obviously, if you want to stump us with something, throw something in the comments, and I'll make Ed try to answer it as well. And then in the meantime, I'll let you get back to work, because I think you're turning around a connector same day for a customer, which is awesome, and the subject of a future video as well. So, thanks for joining me, Ed.
Awesome.
We'll talk soon.
Cool.
Cheers.
Awesome.